r/ask Reddit. What social norm do you absolutely despise? The stigma of being right or being angry embarrassed from being wrong. If you are wrong, you learn something. That's great. Too many people that are just too embarrassed when they are corrected, so they stubbornly keep pressing their incorrect statement. Edit. Rip inbox. Thank for gold. I guess it's nice to have the right opinion and the ask Reddit chamber. Now I have to learn how to make the most of this gold though. I'll be reading all comments and reacting if necessary. Also funny how no one corrected my spelling of embarrassed. Along the same lines, I hate how some parents have a tendency to teach their children to fear failure. Failure is a good thing. No human ever became interesting by not failing. The more you fail and recover and improve, the better you are as a person. The recover and improve part is the hardest for many people. The notion that wedding rings have to be ultra expensive or they aren't worth shit. I personally like bling, but I wasn't about to have my now husband spend the down payment on a house for a ring. For what the tiniest ring at a jewelry store would have cost. I got a huge ring because it was gold and lab created diamond. It looks a million times better than anything we could ever afford and I love it. When I tell people what it is they look disgusted. Plus everyone asked how much it was when I got it. They made it out like my husband was a dong for not spending more on a ring. People have issues if the relationship is apparently no good unless you spend $20,000 plus on a ring. Them. How much was it? You. Why? Them. Just curious. You. Okay. End scene. Duck those people. Edit. Mobile hates me. Business casual. Is it really that big of a deal if I wear a t-shirt and some jeans to sit alone in my cubicle for 8 hours? I'm not interacting with customers face to face. Nobody goes nuts every casual Friday. So why not just make that the norm? I'm with you on that. That's why I'm glad I have a chill job now. Freezer technician A. Exchanging gifts that no one actually wants on holidays. I have a friend who would literally exchange a certain amount of money with his ex-girlfriend. He would give her £100 and she would give him £100 back. Weirdest shit. That does sound odd. Why not just both agree to spend that amount of money on themselves and call it even? Edit. For those finding reading so difficult, I meant for that couple's situation. Not everyone in the ducking world. Needing an excuse to say no to something. I feel like just no should suffice. The problem is that once you give a straight no without any excuse a couple times, people will be less inclined to invite you to things. I feel OP may be referring to bosses corporate etc not being able to take a straight no for answer. Can you work overtime today? Double quote. No. Why not? Double quote. I don't need to tell you why. That's not being a team player. Double quote. Thinking to self, what the duck? My time off is not your time to think you own or. Can you come in Saturday? Double quote. No. You really should consider helping your family out. Beach. This place isn't my family. My actual family expects me to have days off so I can spend time with them and care for them. I hate having to say bye to every single person at an event. Why can't Irish exits be more of a thing? You can be socially awkward like me and say bye to like one person and then wave to everyone who isn't paying attention and then leave. Best part is, if the mention they didn't notice you leave you can say you said bye to everyone because of the wave, but they didn't acknowledge you and you didn't want to interrupt them. Works every time. I just say bye to the host of the event and the person I was most recently interacting with, and then as I am walking out the door I'll shout bye guys. Hi, how are you? Good. How are you? Good. Hi, how are you? I try not to think about it. Same as it ever was. The it's family sense of duty even if said family members are soul munching. Freeloading wastes of space. Parents were alcoholics, drug dependents who took us to the breadline as children. I was bullied because my parents would rather buy me a £7 coat that was fake brand and drove around in a £150 car so they could afford their 8 cans of beer and bottle of cider at night with their cocodamol. My sister tried to kill me a few times growing up. So yeah, duck my family. I don't owe them anything. Currently not speaking to them because they chose my freeloading drama queen sister over me when she missed my wedding and my kid's birthday to go out with her friends. I made my own family now. Congrats on getting out of that environment. When I read your comment, my first thought was really off topic though. I made my own family now. Me. What did you use to attach the arms? I hate my brain sometimes. Unquestionable respect for people just because of their age or rank. Same applies to missing or recently dead people. Definitely people who have passed away. All of a sudden they become brilliant loving people because you can't speak ill of the dead. No. Piss off with that. Dying doesn't make someone a son. I'm an Indian and there is this thing where you have to somehow respect and uphold every wish your parents have with your life. Now I love my parents and they are pretty much cool with a lot of my decision, but I've met and seen a lot of people who had to choose a career they weren't interested in one bit just because their parents wanted it. A lot of girls and boys have to marry someone they've known for mostly months or they know them well but don't want to marry them just for the sake of parents. A lot of girls and boys don't get to be with the person they love just because their parents don't approve. The biggest problem is if you stand up to them for making your own life decisions. Somehow you're an ungrateful a-hole who doesn't appreciate the sacrifices they've made for you. Another shit argument is that parents could never mean to harm their child, so every child should just follow everything their parents tell them to do. It's like Indian parents don't want their child to make any mistakes, so they don't let them make decisions at all. I love my parents. I respect them and I appreciate everything they've done for me, but at the end of the day it's my life and I wanna live it the way I see fit. And if I make mistakes, it's alright. I'll learn from them and grow. The struggle of a first gen. I recently found out there are therapists that specialize in first gen therapy, which makes so much sense to me. Pakistani millennial here to say you could not have hit the nail on the head any harder, tbh. It's an insane corner Asian kids get pushed into where you don't feel like you have any room to live as you want to live. I shudder to think of how many people are living unhappy lives as a result. I hate being expected to talk to hairdressers, especially ones I don't see regularly, about my life. I sometimes tell the woman who cuts my hair that I'm tired and just wanna chill and not talk. She prob likes it honestly cause she has to make bullshit small talk with people all damn day. As a hairstylist, I appreciate that. Sometimes it's like that on the other end too. I'm pretty introverted and making small talk all day can be exhausting. Nothing wrong with a quiet, relaxing haircut. When you say you have no plans and people use that as an excuse to make you do stuff. My plan is to have no plans. Goddamn it. When my co-workers and bosses ask me what I'm doing on my day off, I always come up with something that I'm doing even though I'm just going to be sitting at home on Reddit and watching Netflix with my BF. I don't want to cover shifts or be called in later on. The 5,000 pre-wedding parties that seem to be both the norm and prohibitively expensive for all involved, including guests. Who honestly needs an engagement party, a kitchen tea party, a bridal shower, bridesmaids luncheon, a hens, a 4-day bachelor bender, and a rehearsal dinner? What fresh hell is all of that, OMG? Welcome to the American South. Including my own, I've been involved in 19 weddings in the last 39 months. All of them but one, in Cali, had all of those but the tea, and most had one if not 2 showers as well. Fresh hell is dead accurate. I dislike the reaction I get when I say I'm happily single. On one hand, I get people who seem to think I'm secretly gay and don't want to come out, which I'm not. Or on the other, I get sympathetic looks with the I'm sure the right one will come along when the time is right spiel. Not many are willing to accept I am happy being single, and it seems to be an oddity that I am happy to be that way for now. Why can people not accept being in a relationship is not such a big deal to some people? Edit. Thanks for the gold, guys. I'd like to clarify something. I didn't say I had no interest in sex. Seems some people seem to think I'm not interested in anything at all. I had a few casual encounters some time after the last relationship I was in ended, but that was years ago now. Because then they would have to accept that there is more than one way for people to be happy, and thus there exists the possibility that they are missing out on something, and thus are worse off than you. Moronic, isn't it? Edit. Live and let live. This guy lives. People telling me to smile or telling me I'm mad just because I'm not actively smiling. Duck off. My mom does that all the time. We're just casually talking in the car and I give normal answers without an exaggerated reaction voice tone and she immediately says, "Why are you pissed off again?" Like, boy, I just came from work and I am tired. I already spent the whole day smiling and behaving nice to my bosses and co-workers. I just want to chill. Jeez. What are you mad about? I'm not? Yes you are. No. I'm not. Seriously. What is it? It's ducking you. Now. The idea that it is odd to attend a movie alone. I don't wish to hear my friends' criticism or argue over what movie we should all see. There was this one time I went to the movies alone during a Monday I had off from work. The entire theater was also empty except for me. It was the best movie going experience I have ever had. Oh man. That sounds like heaven. Being nice to disabled people. Some of them are dongs. I hate when people don't think of them as normal people. I have a mental illness and often find myself explaining to friends that just because someone has depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder or anything of the sort, it doesn't exclude them from the capability of being a dunt. I had a friend who would do shit things and then say I'm depressed or I'm bipolar. Like, we've all been through shit, bro. Doesn't make you an a-hole. We all stopped being friends with him. He sent an email to one of us saying he took a DNA test to prove he's bipolar from 23andMe. They don't even offer that kind of service. That I can't wear the same set of clothes 2 days in a row. I work with cement every day, and sometimes I just don't want 5 ducking sets of cemented up clothes. Edit. I just wear the same shit anyway. Sleeveless panty and some BDU pants. It's not usually my co-workers that say anything, but the clients and homeowners. What kind of cement worker cares about what his co-workers wear? Can you believe what John is wearing? I know he wore that same top on Tuesday. This one is big in the UK. So, writing Christmas cards to everyone you know. Duck that. Just writing to their name. Merry Christmas, love, your name, is bullshit and tedious. If I write a card, it's because I give a duck about you and I will write a personalized message. If you give me a bullshit card and expect one back, tough shit. Your worth is not measured by how many Christmas cards you receive. Edit. Gold for a post about my hatred of Christmas cards. Didn't see that one coming. Thanks internet stranger. The fact that some teachers and even professors have so much power over your future, you can piss them off out of pure coincidence and they can make your educational life miserable. Works both ways though. Had one lecturer completely target me because I asked a question they couldn't answer. Spent the rest of the semester receiving no help from them and being graded harshly. The lecture stuffed up when I made a complaint about the grades my assignment group members got relative to me via email. The lecturer reply emailed me back while CCing the group members and included my grades along with personal details and the original complaint. The lecturer could only assist with teaching for the next year while under investigation for misconduct and breaching the university's privacy policy. Edit. Spelling and sentence flow. That behavior is also against the law under FERPA, the Federal Education Rights and Privacy Act. Can't discuss grades with anyone else but the one student whose grade it is. Guys having to take the initiative to ask girls out has caused me so much stress. Jesus. Same here. But then she made a move and suddenly I had the most amazing girlfriend in the world. We've been living together for 2 years now. I still have no social skills, and never will. Letting every person in humanity know that I'm going to the gym. There's a big girl at my gym that comes in all the time in full, new looking Under Armour clothes with Beats headphones, and she does nothing but sit on the gynecologist machine and take selfies. WTF is the gynecologist machine for duck's sakes. Edit. This would be my top comment. I'm now intimately familiar with the term RIP my inbox. Thanks for clearing up my confusion, y'all. Giving a damn about what any celebrities are up to like they're some kind of deity. That's the only reason why certain famous people stay famous. Money being such a terrible gift. I have repeatedly told my parents and relatives that the only thing I want is money. I don't complain if they give me something else. But what really pisses me off is when I get gift cards. Everyone knows I want money, but I get gift cards that I have to use before a time limit is out and on something I might not even want. Edit. I want to specify that gifts are fine. I love getting free stuff. It's cash with restrictions attached, or gift cards that I don't like. Especially after being asked about 5 times before my birthday and explicitly stating I do not want a gift card. Why get $100 when you could get a $100 GameStop gift card? You can buy one new game and not spend the $40 until it's too late. Social media. Yep, it seems like omnipresent access to social media has significantly shortened our attention spans. Were originally bred to be bird hunters. What would you say if I said almost everyone living in suburbia is required to maintain a crop of a plant that is inedible, that must be trimmed on an almost weekly basis, that consumes more water than any other crop in the world, and if a person's crop is allowed to die or grow out of control, that person is stigmatized by the entire community? Duck lawns. Edit. Half the people in the comments are going come to Southwest USA. You'll love it here. Gravel lawns. No, I will not love it there. I hate wasted space. I hate unused land. I love apartment buildings and dense housing and people making the most of the land available. I love public parks and rooftop gardens. I love public transport and people who can live close to work because everyone lives in the same place. If there is one thing that the US is not, it is densely populated or making the most of its resources. Edit 2. Dense apartment living is my first preference. For where that isn't going to happen, plant things that do stuff. One guy suggested clover, not a weed. Environmentally beneficial. Sweet potato is my next recommendation. Even the leaves are edible. Another person suggested mint, which is apparently an invasive species and ducks with other people's lawn, so all the better. You can help stop the lawn status quo. Plant stuff. I'm in the apartment life right now, but one day I'm going to reseed with clover. It maintains a very low height, reducing the need to be cut. Its broad leaves block the sun, preserving water. It's beneficial to pollinator species and is native to my region. Did you know clover lawns were the original state of things before grass? Herbicide companies were developing a weed killer and couldn't figure out a formula that wouldn't also kill clover. Instead of continuing R&D, they just ran an advertising campaign to group clover as a weed. Edit. I'll clarify. Original state in parts of the US, not everywhere. A book if interested. Filming an entire gig on your phone. Put your phone down and enjoy the experience. Who even rewatches those videos? The sound is always ducking horrendous. Celebrity worship. Edit. Thank you for the gold. Why it has felt necessary to put pressure on introverts to interact more. I am actually, by definition, not bothering you. Why do you feel the need to come and bother me? Why aren't extroverts criticized for needing much more attention from everyone around them? Why is it seen as preferable to be demanding of other people's time and attention, instead of just being content with your own company and keeping yourself to yourself? Because extroverts feel awkward when they are not being social, so when they see an introvert they assume that person is feeling as awkward as they would and go and try to fix it. Talking about traffic and routes people take to places. I feel like everyone had lessons on the names of all the roads when I wasn't paying attention. Person. So, did you come on the A14 this morning or me? I don't know. Why person? Because there was an accident on junction 2145 on the M45 and the A14 was blocked off on the circular hangar interchange and I had to divert through the Black Cat roundabout on Highway 66. How about you? Did you manage to weather the blizzard on Route 442? Me? Then I think the conversation is over, and some other person chimes in Kevin and says what they should have done and the best route between two places I don't know or care about. This always goes on for ages. They usually get maps out. Often they will scoff at me for not knowing exactly how I got to work this morning or the roads by name. Southern English people are dull as duck. Bill Bryson talked about this in Notes from a Small Island. His theory that the best way to get a conversation going with people in a pub in the UK is to name a place 50 miles away and ask for directions. Sitting next to people you know on the bus. I used to be fine with this one, but 4 months ago I got a new co-worker who I share the bus to work with in the morning. She is a lady in her 50s. Incredibly boring and talks very quietly. Her worst feature however is her breath. It can only be described as death and decay when the smell hits you. It's not like tobacco breath which hits you in the face. No, Her breath is like the unholy child of a dementor and an assassin. When you realize you've been hit, you are already dying. Joy leaves your body and the world around you withers. She is aware of her issues, as she is always chewing mint gum. But that smell is just added on top of her putrid death breath. She always sits at the first row in the bus, so there is no casual way to avoid her. That smell is tooth decay. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do without a dentist once it's already that bad. If she's aware of it, it's probably why she talks quietly, doesn't want to bathe you in her death breath. The happy birthday song. For my birthday every year I request that it not be sung. And that's exactly why it's sung to you. The fact that you're required to say I'm good when someone asks how you're doing. Tell them how you really are doing and they will never ask you again. Small talk. This one is largely down to what friend circles you're part of, but social events that involve clubs, bars. For the first time in years it's not much of an issue for me, but from 1825 I was the odd one out for hating going to clubs after events or on nights out. Hot, sweaty, smelly, sticky floors, walls, loud pop house music. That I don't enjoy. Can't hear anyone unless you find a quiet spot. Expensive and often gross drinks. Nothing to do, expect dance, drink, go outside for cigarettes, etc. I just hated it. Everything about it seemed so fake and forced. It tends to bring out the worst in people. And I found that people behaved completely differently in those situations. Like they were strangers. Those people you meet while smoking are usually great though. Typically because they all also hate being there. Traditional office jobs. There is no way it's healthy emotionally or physically to sit in front of a screen 8+ hours a day. Plus sit through a commute. Hell, half the time there's barely even human interaction with coworkers. Don't you ducking try and change the second part of that. Leave me alone, coworkers. When driving and another driver obviously stops before you at a stop sign and they wait for you to go. I had a guy stop and try to wave me on when he was already inside the rotary, like, keep driving you stupid duck. Seriously, being down on someone for being a virgin. It's one thing if you're joking between friends, another if you barely know the person. Men having to walk on eggshells around children because everyone thinks we're predators. I love kids because I wish I could have my own. But I stay away from all of my nieces and nephews because I was told it's not manly to take care of kids when all I want to do is hold a baby. This might be a little location specific, but the Midwestern goodbye drives me insane. For you lucky bastards who don't know what this is, it's the elaborate social ritual one must go through in order to leave a large gathering of Midwesterners. First you must thank the host and comment on the wonderful evening while politely explaining how you must be going. Then you sit and converse for about 15 more minutes, slowly making your way to the door and collecting your shoes and coats. Now you have another 15-minute convo about how we all must do this again, don't see each other enough, really enjoyed seeing each other. Now you may open the door and attempt to walk to your car. Here the ritual can take 2 turns. If it's not winter time you will stand just outside the door, have one final goodbye well wishing. Hugs will be doled out and you will be asked if you have everything. You may now get to your car and leave. If it is winter you will briskly walk out the door to your vehicle as the others loudly wish you well from the warmth of the house before returning to their booze. In my family a goodbye can start at 10 PM but you might not get in the car till 11. Selfies. I don't get it. If you're traveling, and you and your so are in front of the Eiffel Tower, sure, go nuts. But why do people feel the need to constantly take photos of themselves in bed, then in the washroom, then with their breakfast, etc.? Are we that self-centered? I so don't understand this perspective. I take selfies because I like to record what I was doing and how I looked at certain moments in time. There were entire years where I barely have photos of myself and it makes me pretty sad. I want pictures of myself. If I have to take them myself, then so be it. I like looking at other people's selfies too. It's like seeing people how they see themselves. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.